So this video is going to be scrolling 3, episode number 3 in my scrolling series. The thing is, there isn't a scrolling 2. I mean, there is a scrolling 2, but the reason there isn't publicly a scrolling 2 is because I recorded it and it was just whack. I recorded it at like 9 o'clock in the evening and I was just so tired and it was just dreadful. It really was dreadful. But rather than delete it completely and rather than replace it, I'm going to make it like a future perk or something of like a sort of for Patreon subscribers or something, so that you can see me be an absolute idiot for 40 minutes and just have no idea what I'm talking about. So yeah, this is Scrolling 3. It's the second video in the series after Scrolling 1. In Scrolling 1, I talked about what this series is about. And what it is I just need a place to generate ideas. I need a place to explore ideas. And I need a place to look into things, to read things and talk through them properly. And actually, I need a forcing function to do that. The social pressure of posting these videos online, means that I simply have to do the work because I didn't do the work for the last video, and that's why it ended up being so crap. This week's edition of Scrolling is going to focus on this article by Noah Smith and Rune, who is like a Twitter tech person, funny guy. Noah Smith is a writer who mainly writes about tech, and this is on his Substack. And in case anyone's wondering what the setup here is, because I'm going for a different setup, because the first episode setup was the most amateur thing you'll ever see. This is just like slightly less amateur. I'm on FigJam on Figma. I'm using OBS to record, and I'm using FigJam, where I've essentially popped the article on a white space or whiteboard or whatever they call it, and I'm running through, and I'm just gonna pick up on my notes, hopefully remember why I made those notes, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my reaction to this article and what I think it means. And it's a good article. That's the first thing that I'll say. It's worth reading. You're not going to get to read it through this. I mean, if that wouldn't be fair on the authors if I just let you read it on this video. Well, it's free, so but still they'd get Substack hits. So yeah, I'm just going to roll through and talk about it and hopefully have the energy to get to the end, because last time I recorded a video I think I got maybe 30 minutes through and I just needed a wee. Maybe that's why on video cameras, I think it's just in the UK, they have like a 29-minute video limit. Anyway, let's get stuck in then. So generative AI, I mean, what are we talking about here? Specifically, as far as I understand it, we're talking about AI that can generate images, answers to questions, text based on prompts. Essentially, any AI that can be prompted to finish, or any AI that can answer a prompt that you give it in the particular form that you are offering the prompt. So obviously we've got the image generation services now, like Midjourney, DALL-E 2, which I've used mostly, and Stable Diffusion. So this is all my technical knowledge isn't great, so this is an amateur's view. I'll repeat that many times, or you could say like an idiot's view or something, but I won't be so harsh on myself, of all of this just rapid development in the artificial intelligence world and the tech world. I mean, it's absolutely mental. So we recently had the image generators, and we've got the text generators like Lex and also Jasper, which is the famous one, which is the one that's making a lot of money. And I'm sure Lex by Nathan Bashez from Every, who I'm just a really big fan of those guys, like all of them. I'm sure that he's going to get a bit of a payday on that. I wouldn't be surprised, because I noticed they've got a podcast. I haven't even gotten into the meat of any of the article. I haven't even touched the article yet, and I'm probably already 5 minutes in, so bear with me. Maybe I should make this a podcast as well. If I make it a podcast, because how many people actually subscribe to YouTube, and put it on Spotify, then it's possible that if I don't focus too much on the visual aspects of it, then people could listen to it, and that might be slightly easier, but that's for my own time to figure that out. Right, return. The most recent generative AI system or model or whatever is this OpenAI chatbot that they've got, and it has, as you can see here, it has blown my mind. It's just I'm just, you know, I don't want to go to bed at night. I'm not even someone who has the necessary skills to I guess use it most effectively, but I'm just sitting there in the evenings before going to bed thinking I don't want to go to bed because there are so many different things that could come from this, and there are people sitting there right now looking at this, building things, and they're gonna get rich. And not that money is everything, but they're gonna design things that are gonna help them, help other people. It's just incredible. So let's get stuck into the article. Weirdly, I don't think they mention. In fact, I'm not sure what the date. December 1st. I can't remember what exact date the chatbot came out. It's around the similar time, so I reckon that must be why. So, whatever. This isn't in it, but it's especially relevant regardless of that fact. Okay, right. So, here's a little robot that I've drawn, by the way, who is taunting you and your fleshy face, and me too. So, this article, right, if you talk to people about the potential of artificial intelligence, almost everyone brings up the same thing, the fear of replacement. Yeah, so that's the main fear, isn't it? After the fear of impending doom, the fact that they could sort of deem us not necessary to life on Earth anymore, or their life on Earth. The main fear is fear... Oh, where are you going? The main fear is fear of replacement. And... what does fear of replacement mean? Fear of replacement means that you're going to lose your job. This is a thing that's been repeated endlessly for every technological development. So it's interesting because the guys here note that it manifests as a feeling of guilt for the people who actually work in AI. So they feel guilt over creating the machines that might put their fellow humans out of a job. And I thought this was really interesting because you've got Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, and obviously a lot of other high-up workers in OpenAI who have created GPT-3. I hope that's right technically, but they've created GPT-3. Let's say it is for now, and they are driving one of what I think, and a lot of people think, is going to be one of the biggest changes in human history. I mean, maybe it will slow down somewhere and it won't come so quickly, but I think the ball is rolling on something massive. So what does Sam Altman feel about that? I mean, what I would say, as I've written here, is that his essays, and I'll put a link to them in the description if I remember to, but you can Google them, it's not that hard, you lazy prick. Sorry. His essay suggests that he is a good person to be one of the people at the forefront of this thing. He seems like an ethical person. He's very, very intelligent, clearly, and he talks really well. So that's promising, at least. So here they talk about Midjourney and Stable Diffusion and Jasper. Let's see this. Jasper, a company that uses AI to generate written content, raised $125 million. And we're right at the beginning of this thing. Like Jasper, if this company iterates and moves with the development of the software, I guess they're going to be $1 billion company. I don't really know what that means anymore. But here's one of the issues with FigJam, and maybe there's a way to fix it. But it kind of scrolls left and right, and I zoom in. The zoom in is useful. Oh. Little highlight, nice little yellow dot for you there. So it can scroll left to the right, so I might chuck the page off the screen by accident. If I do that, I'm an idiot. So AI is experiencing a golden age, like definitely, right? Big breakthroughs, which is ironic because tech is just messed up right now. I mean, the crypto world is really bent out of shape over this whole FTX thing, and this, I've forgotten his name, Bankman-Fried or whatever his name is, where he's conned a load of people out of a load of money, and he seems to be getting some plaudits for his work still, which I don't know enough about that to talk about it, but tech is struggling. I know that my sister's company, which is a tech company, laid a load of people off. That's a smaller company, but then we all know Twitter, that's Elon, but we all know that other companies have also made big layoffs. Facebook have made loads of layoffs thanks to Mark Zuckerberg's mistakes. Maybe they're mistakes that are worth it, but then human people suffering in a recession, you don't know. You don't know. What is the end goal? Yeah, so AI is booming right now, despite the fact that tech isn't. And I actually think not only is this going to rescue the tech world, rescue tech companies, etc., 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 or when I say rescue the incumbent tech companies, I don't necessarily mean that, or sorry, that might not necessarily be true, because others might rise up in their place if they can't move fast enough. Some companies are very, very innovative, and when the new tech comes through, they just, they're on it. And who is it? Facebook, obviously. They just jack everyone's features, don't they? So yeah, tech in general is struggling, but AI is not. And I think that, like I said there, tech is going to benefit greatly. But I also think we are seemingly in a global recession thanks to myriad things like the war, the Ukraine-Russia war, and also coronavirus. I think that the effective utilization of these AI tools is going to give us an amount of leverage that will lift us out of this recession and into another golden age. I really, really do. And I'm not an expert on these things, but that's just my intuition. So let's see. What this article, I think what the general thing of this article, the general kind of driving underlying point is that don't worry too much about AI taking your jobs. Don't worry too much about it replacing you, because it likely won't happen like that. Other things happen. So if it does cause mass employment, it will be the first time in history that any technology has ever done that. Despite the constant fear, industrial machinery was expected to do so. Computer-controlled machine tools, software applications, industrial robots, everyone panicked. All of this, nothing came to pass. Everyone who wants a job still has a job. How accurate is that? I think it's relatively accurate. Probably some people would argue, but so here I've said that not only do most people still have employment if they want it, but a lot of awful jobs have gone away. And so here is the little job specifically that I looked at, because I looked at a list of old jobs that had to be done that no longer have to be done because of machines, right? Because people don't have to do the same shitty jobs anymore. There are still shitty jobs. I do one of them occasionally in my job, which I won't specify right now. But here's a job, and there's a sheep. A wool fuller, right? A job in the Middle Ages. Due to the fact that sheep wool needed to be cleaned and stripped of grease, you needed a wool fuller. What did a wool fuller do? They'd march on the spot in a vat all day, right? Just up, down, up, down, up, down. Even standing all day is hard. So it was bad enough that they had to do that, but what makes it worse is that the wool was laid out in human piss. Yeah, because the human piss was deemed, as Diesel did back then, they thought a load of dumb things like we probably will seem like we think to the future generations. It was deemed the best for whitening the wool. I mean, maybe they'd even look forward and be like, look at these guys whitening the wool with bleach. How terrible. What a bad idea. Look at our wee white wool. How would it whiten the wool? Because would it not stain it yellow? I've got no idea. That job has gone away. No one has to do that shit no more. No one. This sheep here, look, I mean, do I necessarily agree with the shaving of sheep for profit? I don't know. That's another story. I might miss highlights here, but it's not the end of the world because there's so much to talk about. Yeah, so the reality is that the improvements, the technological improvements, the technologies didn't replace the job itself, but replaced some of the tasks. And what does this mean? Well, if if the technology, or if in our case AI, is going to replace some of the tasks, i.e. image generation, because there will still be room for human art, right? There's not going to be no more room for humans to do art. That's going to be its own thing. But if AI, say, is doing image generation, which will be leveraged by, I don't know, say designers or something, or people making ads, things like that. I'm not calling it not art, but it's less art than art. What a great sentence. Can you not tell I'm articulate? If this happens, workers will get better at current tasks by leveraging AI. So everyone will be able to use the AI to get better at what they do. The human labour can be shifted to different jobs, which again are often better because you're not having to, I don't know, like dig around in muck. You're not having to stamp in piss. Instead, you could do something that only humans could do. We might have a lot more people on computers because computer literacy will go up as people are born into the years of computer literacy. AI literacy will whatever that sentence should be, will improve. So a lot of people will be working on computers, and probably, well, I say for less time, but then who knows with capitalism. And it will create new jobs, new tasks for people to do. So I think I made up this example, i.e. service AI. Yeah, of course, because you have people servicing machines in factories. People that literally they're just maintenance. They are the maintenance worker, and I don't mean like caretakers. I mean people who maintain the machines, and they usually do it at a weekend when the factory is empty, or work on new projects. I just got a notification in the corner, and I couldn't tell whether it would be seen or not because this is my first time using this software. Okay, where are we? Yeah, work on new projects that without the AI were not possible. Yeah, could open, because projects are moving quicker, then there's more time to come up with ideas, and humans are good at that, and AI seems to be good at it too. But what have I written here? Fire. Yes, fire 100. Top line, bro. Noah likes to say, dystopia is when robots take half your jobs. Utopia is when robots take half your job. That is a smooth line. That's poetic as F. I like it. If AI took half, yeah, but one of the problems here is AI takes half your job. Yeah, the other half of your job, it's not. If you're a freelancer, you work for yourself, then you don't need to do it. But actually, if you work, I don't know, for a company, then the company's just gonna be like, right, half your job's gone. Here's the other half. But productivity will go up. Depends whose side you're on. Why can't we just work half days? Why does constant improvement have to be at the forefront of everything? I'm not arguing against that, by the way. It's just a thought, isn't it? Comparative advantage. I'll be honest, I didn't fully get this point, but let's see what I did get. That's why there's a squiggle there to fill in the space where I didn't get it. How clever of me. The principle of comparative advantage says that whether the jobs of the future pay better or worse than the jobs of today depends on some degree whether the AI skill set is very similar to humans or complementary or different. If AI, highlighted this, say it in a different voice, if AI simply does things different than humans do, then the complementarity will make humans more valuable and will raise wages. So here, if AI does things differently, which it does seem to do things differently, there's a point here, then it's just going to make humans more valuable because AI won't be able to do what humans do. And although we can't speak to the AI of the future because new things will come out, we believe that the current wave of generative AI does things very differently from humans. AI art tends to differ from human-made art in subtle ways, right? And my girlfriend can see this, and she doesn't like a lot of the AI art I've produced. Everyone has their own taste. But there's a little line here. Its minor details are often off in a compounding uncanny valley fashion that the net result. So the uncanny valley is where graphically we can create human faces, but they're just slightly off. Something's just not right about them. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's like a thing inside us that notices something about a face that we can't recreate ourselves consciously. I don't know. Could be anything that. But yeah, so Comparative advantage. I mean, I guess that is essentially just saying we will probably be different. It seems different so far. Oh, here we go. I think I said something clever here. Did I? Maybe. Or at least a new point. Okay, just want to say sorry if I've done anything naughty or bad or poorly, whereby I'm talking about something that's not on the screen here, because it's not the full window. It just is how it is. I don't know, blame OBS. Here's my tangent. AI art is very different from human art, like they've said there. It just is, for whatever reason it is. And I have a theory that in the current moment, and probably all of the moments of art generation going forward, there will be considered eras of AI art, if you will. So in the same sense that you have like different eras of human art. I can't remember what any of them are called. Like, is Renaissance one? I mean, I know Renaissance is a period, but you have the art of that time. Then you have sort of postmodernism, which I know that's not even art, is it? That's people chatting nonsense, I think. Whatever, you get my point. Baroque. I think Baroque is one. So this era where the AI is kind of doing some weird stuff, like a bit weird. Yeah, a lot of my pieces that I've made are just a little bit odd, but I like it. Like, I like the potential, the serendipity, because if you are creating something perfect with AI, then great, it's perfect, but human art isn't perfect. There might be a little line in a Picasso painting or something that just makes it special. I don't know. So I think that this right now, use your fingers, Jack, use your body. I'm just operating directly through my computer alone, like a cyborg already. I think this era right now will be its own era of art. Another tangent here. Okay, so this is where I thought I was being clever, and I don't know whether I am or not, but very tangential, I've said. Even the life forms on Earth already vary so greatly from each other in terms of intelligence that Franz de Waal's written a whole book about it. Are we smart enough to know how smart animals are? One of the main points in this book is that we can only assess animal intelligence using our own framework of intelligence, the things that we think makes something smart, whereas animals have different senses, different abilities to do different things. They can feel things differently, all that. Why should we expect artificial intelligence to be so similar to human intelligence, especially, once the models start training themselves, because they won't be learning from humans? And if, say, the AI eventually deemed, I don't know what my point was there, but I think it's going to fork off and be something different. Why would it, if we're working on the basis of evolution, let's say, and it is an evolution of our species, then why would it be so similar to humans? I'm not buying it. Might have been a smart point at the beginning, but I'm not sure that I delivered it well. Where are we? Let's get the article back over here on the OBS screen. Are you on? There you are. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Sorry, bear with me. There we go. Okay. So how the best generative AI apps? You know what? I didn't really, because again, this is a little bit technical and slightly out of my comfort zone. But so they talk a little bit about Copilot here. So it's like an auto suggest for programmers, essentially. I haven't tried on Copilot, but using the OpenAI chatbot, which I was talking about earlier, to code, it requires an understanding. So I could do very basic things like build a HTML page or something, and I could do that successfully, or prompt the chatbot to do that, and then CSS as well. But once I started involving JavaScript, which I don't understand very well, and CSS animations, which I'm not completely, I was trying to do complicated things basically, and because I didn't understand how to accurately use what the bot gave me, I was failing. And this comes back to one of my main points, which someone else might have made before. I'm sure some people are thinking it. But one of the most important skills to learn in the next decade, in my opinion, will be how accurately you can communicate with generative AI. Because how you communicate with it is going to determine what you get from it. If you don't know how to trigger it to give you exactly what you want, you're not going to get what you want. So you're going to have to learn to be articulate enough in the prompting. I mean, maybe prompting will be a whole new side thingy of English language. I shouldn't just say English language, but it's probably... Actually, you could probably prompt it in any language. You think that most languages will go away eventually. I don't know. I don't know what people's theories are on language development in terms of the future, whatever. Side point here, I talked about this already. I actually also like the spontaneity, there we go, of not quite knowing what you'll get. Now, I said about that with the art, but it's cool to make a mistake in your prompt, or it's cool to prompt the AI in a way that it trips on it, and then it makes something that wouldn't have been created otherwise, because it can slam things together that shouldn't go together. And I think that's a really cool aspect of it at the moment. Copilot, one of the things they cover here is, let's see, in effect, no software engineer will be running solo anymore because Copilot allows that, and another program will come forward. Copilot's probably going to do it now, but whatever. Everyone from students writing their first computer code to industry experts will have a superhumanly knowledgeable but idiosyncratic pair programmer built into their tools. I would like that a lot. It would help me, because I've tried to learn to code, and it's not that I'm not clever enough, I'm not disciplined enough, and hopefully that will change, but it's going to make learning to code a hell of a lot easier. Although maybe then the things that you can do will get more complicated, and then you'll be expected to do more from the beginning. Who knows? We'll all have a genius pair programmer. Introverts rejoice, because I'd rather pair program with a robot, because it's hard to work with other people when you're an introvert. So, what is the title of this little section? How they work now. So yeah, there's a point here where when you ask the AI to do something, okay, they're still talking about Copilot, I think, there. It doesn't always get it perfectly right, but it almost always makes a good enough first attempt where a human can go and work out the granular reasoning errors or modify it to their preference. Right, so yeah, you ask the AI to do something in all of these models, it gets it like 90% right, depending on what right is to you, and then you correct the last 10%. Those figures are made up, but it feels like it's in the 90s. It does a really good job. Might be 85, maybe 80-20, sorry, not 80-20. Yeah, so that's how it's kind of working at the moment. I'm sure that's how most people who are using it in their profession are doing so. They were talking here because the image that they've got, and I'm not going to go to it now, but you'll see it in a minute, where Midjourney, one of the image generators, tends to screw up characters' hands, which is funny. There always does seem to be a little detail off, but then what you can do with DALL-E 2 and the others is you can inpaint. So you can rub it out and then regenerate the image, it's gone, and it puts something better in its place. And then if you really wanted to, you can take the image, if you can use Photoshop or Illustrator, whatever you want to use, you can take the image and then you can go work on it yourself and rework on it. You can fix it up. So yeah, Midjourney screws up characters' hands. Me too. Look, as you can see here, that is meant to be a hand with a pen, and then oh look, I've done 6 fingers. That's actually a drawing of my hand. I won't show you it because I've got six fingers. No, 5 fingers and a thumb. What's this heart? What am I laughing at? Ow! I was laughing because I don't know what am I laughing at here. At the moment, prompting. There's a limit of narrative abstraction to the text. I don't even know. I don't know what I'm laughing at, guys. Previous me has forgotten. Oh no, current me has forgotten what previous me was laughing at. A problem not dissimilar to difficulties of delegating to other humans. I mean, it's something to do with that. The fact that, oh, here we go. At the moment, prompting is an inexact science where a human must find the right way to communicate intent to an AI. Right? Yeah, you need to learn how to communicate what it is you want. That's going to be one of the most important things. What's this? I've got a waving hand. Where's that come from? Yeah, you're going to need to figure out how to talk to people, and we have to do that with people, as they're saying here. And I think I'm laughing because they're making a point that, where's this bloody wave, man? Amazing. Hiya. Yeah, let's move on. Yeah, humans struggle to communicate anyway, and that's where a lot of human work goes wrong. Yeah, I'm 100% here for Midjourney's nonsense. It's mistakes because it's art in its own right. You know, that's the era where Midjourney couldn't do hands. You can tell. You could get someone like analysing it in the future, like an expert of like old art. So where are we here? This is a model showing performance of humans working alongside AI. And I'm not going to dive back into it, but essentially I think it's showing, yeah, look, quality, accuracy, and whatever that is. It seems to be that superior performance compared to either the AI or the human alone, so working together. Okay, some stickers to cover some space there. Examples of how autocomplete for everything, which they sort of have termed generative AI. It's like a autocomplete for whatever you want it to complete. So for writers, sentence thesaurus. Essentially, like a thesaurus, you ask it, think about what he wants to say, type out a list of bullet points. This is what Noah imagines that he might do. His AI word processor will then turn each of these bullet points into a sentence or a paragraph. Right, yeah, so it will give you a bunch of different sentences saying what it is you want to say. And you can choose between them sentences, and once you've chosen one, then you can iterate to make it better. And here is a really, really interesting bit, right? This bloody hand needs to go away. Written in a facsimile of Noah's traditional writing style. So this will be, for me, this will be one of the biggest things that it needs to get, and it gets it a little bit, but it probably gets it better. I mean, you'd have to train it on your own work to do so, which smart people can do, but ideally it'd be a bit easier to do this. If the AI can learn to write like you, it's going to do a great job of utilizing things like your sense of humor, because it's not got the humor right now. But you know, if you have a silly humor and your readers like that specific thing about you, it's going to be a lot better for you if the AI can pick up on that. And it could also pretend to be you, and steal your identity, and steal your wife and children away to its big clanking metal mansion and clank the doors shut forever. They went willingly in this story. Let's move on. There's the hands. Look, what's wrong with the hands? Oh yeah, that finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's got 4 fingers. This little kid, but he's lost a bit. How do you know, Mr. Writer, Noah and Rune, that actually the AI wasn't thinking, I want to, be diverse in my representation of humans so that they don't come at me for not representing the entire populace in my art. And this little boy's disabled because he's only got half of a finger. Does that make you disabled? Surely it does, because there are certain things you won't be able to do. Each of our fingers, as part of the whole package, contributes. Let's go down. What's going on here? Yeah, I mean, they're talking about design and AI, and I think they talk about, take a look at any mundane, boring object in the room around you: lamp, TV stand, coffee maker, some human being. Yeah, so the AI will be able to create some ideas. There's a company that are using AI for interior design ideas, I think, at the moment. I think you just say what you want, maybe, and take a picture of your room, something like that. I haven't used it. And then it gives you ideas and it gives you pictures, and it looks really cool. There's ideas for lawyers, marketers, consultants here. I'm not going to dig into them, but read the article if that is you. And is that, I can't fit the whole thing on the page. If I just zoom out a bit. Yeah, so this is really cool. This is really cool, and I'm going to write this down. I might even make this into a little video or something. So how we are going to use the AI, as they've already been discussing, but they've sort of compiled it down to this little paragraph. They've called it the sandwich workflow. This is a 3-step process. First, a human has a creative impulse and gives the AI a prompt. The AI then generates a menu of options. The human then chooses an option, edits it, and adds any touches that they like. Yeah, so that kind of works for most uses of the generative AI. So that is something you wanna sort of remember. Do you? I mean, do you need to remember it? Probably not, because if that's what it's going to do, that's what it's going to do. That's how it's going to work. But it's just a very succinct way of describing the process. No, you know what? It is useful because it's an instruction manual for you, right? So you have to offer the AI something. You can't just say, do this. I've tried it. You can't just. Tried to get it to write a YouTube short about a man and a mushroom and their adventures together, and it wrote one really cool script, and then when I asked it again, it kind of just wrote the same thing again. I prompted it with different things, but I was just putting too much work on the AI's back. So you've got to give it a bit more. I mean, maybe not so in the future, but yeah, it gives you a menu of options. I suppose if you ask for a couple of different ones, then you get the selection. I'm not very good at using it yet. I'd love to spend the whole day playing with it, but I have just had, well, no, I can't really say that. I've got a 6-month-old child, so that becomes difficult. Yeah, okay. All right, well, there we go. This is their sort of conclusion. Yeah, it's not something that replaces humans, but something that gives them superpowers. How cool is that? That's exciting, man. That's really exciting. We think that some of the creators of the future will learn to see generative AI as just another tool, which they will. Something that enhances creativity by freeing up human beings to think about different aspects of the creation. Also, you can't hold on to everything. You can't hold on to every era of art. You can't hold on to every specific way of creating. You can't hold on to, yeah, you can't as a human being, because things move so fast and things die, and otherwise you're just going to be a nostalgia merchant who's living in the past and moaning about things not being the way they used to be. Move forward with things. There are good things coming constantly, and it might seem bad at times, but it's not. It's getting better. Everything is getting better on the whole. Like, it really is. And I think a lot of us would do well in realizing that and embracing and enjoying that fact. Anyway, here's my summary. It's not all doom and gloom. Generative AI will likely help you perform better and have just as much fun. And there's the little waving hand to say bye-bye, because that's the end of Scrolling 3. Hopefully this has gone smoothly in terms of the filming side. I'll be quite fuming because I think it's gone alright in terms of my performance, if you will. Yeah, that's Scrolling 3 and also Scrolling 2 if you want. But I'm gonna, I think, do this sort of thing that I've done with FigJam again. I'll see if it works with videos, because I'm not sure, because I'd like to talk about some videos as well. But if it doesn't work with videos, I might just have to make my own notes and then put my notes there and then draw onto them, or just make a page full of notes. Maybe that'll work as well. Cool. Yeah. Right. I'm gonna go because I can't spend too much time away from my little boy, and that is it. Scrolling 3 done for now. I'll see you hopefully in like a week's time if I can get the work done. Take care, have a good day, have a good life, enjoy your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, whatever meal is next for you, because food is delicious. Bye bye.